Hi bestie, welcome back to my channel where you're certainly gonna get hooked on books. Today's a fun video because we're doing a little game show called Smash or Pass Bookish Edition. So I have two spinner wheels here. One of them is with every single book that I've read for the past like 3 years, I want to say. And then the other wheel is another spinner wheel with some bonus questions. So how the game's going to work is I'm going to spin the smash or pass wheel first. Any book that it lands on there, I have to decide on if I'm going to smash it or if I'm going to pass it and why I'm going to smash or pass it. And then I'm going to go ahead and spin for a bonus question on here and answer that bonus question. These bonus questions range from biggest red flag all the way down to would you recommend, hot take, etc., etc. You catch my drift. So let's get this started. All right, so spin number 1. So let's see where it lands on. Okay, so it's Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. So, smash or pass? I'm gonna have to say, for nostalgia reasons, smash. I know that honestly, when it comes to that whole trilogy in a sorts, I want to say that a lot of people would probably pass on Mockingjay. Particularly maybe because of the movie and how they did the movie compared to the book. But when I'm thinking about book itself, I really do think that it was a great wrap up to the entire series. And something that I just love so much about these books are the characters. Like Katniss and Peeta are definitely such two strong characters that truly are such big fighters for what they believe in, and they are so resilient in what they stand for. And I love that so much about the whole series as a whole. So Mockingjay has to land on the smash for me. And when it comes to a bonus question, let's see what bonus question we get for this one. All right, so it's would I buy a special edition? Absolutely, goes without question. All right, so let's go ahead and spin for book number 2. We're gonna do 10 of these total, just to give you the heads up. I feel like I didn't tell you. So let's see what book number 2 is. Intercepts by TJ Payne. So I actually recently just read this one for Summerween. So honestly, I am stuck between the smash or pass right now because smash, because it's a really cool concept and the book did turn out pretty spooky overall, but I feel a little bit more towards the pass only because it's very similar to Stranger Things, the TV show, in the sense that if you've watched Stranger Things, the character 11, which is played by Millie Bobby Brown, she has like special abilities to be able to, travel to different areas through being submerged within like a salt bath type of thing, And that's exactly what was happening in this book. Basically, they had human test subjects that they were putting into like these completely sensory deprivation, like immersion jail cells or tanks, whatever the case is, for them to be used to go and get information from other locations for some type of government thing. Very similar to Stranger Things, as you could tell. So that's the only reason I will say pass, because it's not like the most unique idea, unfortunately. But if we think about just the book and the horror elements and the writing style and the overall like plot, I would say smash, but still, I'm gonna stick to my pass for this one for sure. So let's see what our bonus question is going to be. So our bonus question is favorite character. Okay, so let me think about this, because I really did like the character of the daughter, the teenage daughter in the story. She is more of the focal character because we're really following her story the most in terms of not only does she have divorced parents and the dad is more away than not, but also the mom recently had just died. And this is not a spoiler because it's literally in the first chapter of the book. So I just really liked the character development of the actual character. And then, like the little plot twist slash conclusion of it all with the character at the end was pretty solid. So I think I'm gonna go with the teenage daughter. I forgot her name completely already because I'm not good at remembering names of anyone in any book, but I can definitely tell you a plot, but I can't tell you character names. So yeah, the teenage daughter, whatever her name is, I'm putting it here on screen for you guys. All right, so let's spin for book number 3. Let's see which one we get. All right, The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. Oh my. So honestly, this is like kind of easy. And I'm gonna say pass, honestly, because the thing is that the movie really is like the standout within. I feel like most of the time with Nicholas Sparks, like movie to film adaptations, I like the movie over the book sometimes. But I think it's just because I've always grown up with Nicholas Sparks and I'm kind of like just over the fact that he writes so much romance and so many stories already that some of them do kind of like get confused or mixed up along the way in my mind, because I've read a couple but not a lot, but still like those stories just kind of bunch up all together at a point. And I read them so long ago and I've seen those movies so long ago, and it's not like, for lack of a better way to say it, like not my cup of tea anymore, unfortunately. I hope I'm not being rude. I'm trying not to be rude, but definitely, unfortunately, with The Notebook, I'm gonna say pass. Now let's see with our bonus question what we're gonna get. All right, so a hot take. All right, so I kind of already gave you guys a hot take by saying pass to this. All right, so let's spin for book number 4. Let's see what we get this time for our smash or pass. All right, so book number 4 is Christmas Cancellation by E.V. James. Ooh, y'all, can my face already tell you my answer? Pass, 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 pass. This book was so frustrating because I was going into it as like, oh, it's gonna be like a fun little holiday romance. And I don't mind smut, I really don't. But when there's only smut with no plot, that's where I have a problem. And that's exactly where this book went. This book was literally the entire, like from 25% down to 90% was just them fucking the whole time. I swear to God. And look, I'm not against it, and if that's your cup of tea, I'm happy for you. But if I'm gonna read smut, I want plot too. And there was this plot there, but it was not such a strong plot that I cared about, like at all. Like at all. If I'm remembering correctly, is that the girl's flight got canceled. She had to stay in the place that she was at. And she was having like this whole issue, or maybe I'm thinking of this wrong, but I know that she ends up somewhere with the pilot of the flight that got canceled, because that's what her hometown originally, and her aunt, I think it was, had left a house for her in her name, but put a stipulation that she needs to stay at that house and like, bring it back to life, remodel it, whatever, if she wants to inherit it and inherit the inheritance, etc., etc. So that was the main thing. But then once she met this guy and they started getting to know each other, basically in the first night they were already fucking, which again, I'm not against it. Good for you, girl. Hell yeah, get that D. But at the same time, don't forget about what you gotta do and what the main thing of the story is. So that story really lost me when it came to that, because look, I love smut, but don't lose the plot over smut, guys. Come on. But yeah, definitely pass. And let's see what the bonus question is for this one. I hope it's a good one. All right, so biggest red flag, the amount of spice in the book. Literally the biggest red flag has to be that, because again, like, I don't want only smut. I want plot and smut. A nice little blend of it. Another red flag in the book is the insta love of it all. Like literally they met and then immediately already they were like falling in love, and I'm much more of a slow burn type of gal. Like I want them to have stolen glances and be pining for each other and yearning for each other. So yeah, that's another big red flag of the story. So honestly, all in all, just pass this book. Like, get it out of here. Erase it from my memory completely. All right, so spin number 5 for our little smash or pass game. Let's see. We got Pieces of Grace by Karen Gibson. So I do remember that this was a book club book with my mom, But wow, I'm like fully forgetting what it's about. Let me get myself a refresher here. Okay, so I'm reading the synopsis and some notes that I took of the book, but like nothing really is sparking up my memory about the book, unfortunately. I when I see the names and like the story plot of it in the synopsis, I think I do remember some of it. I do remember it being kind of like a thriller romance in a sense, but I don't remember it that well, honestly, so that kind of sucks, but I still want to keep going with the game. So, due to the fact that I'm not remembering the story kind of at all, it's a pass. Wow, we're doing really bad, guys. There's a lot of passes here already so far. Yeah, so definitely pass. I think I can't really say anything else because I don't really remember the story like that. So, officially pass. And let's see what our bonus question is because I hope it's not something that's gonna make me try to remember from the story or something. Let's see. Okay, biggest green flag. Guys, I don't know. Well, I rated it at 3.5. Um, it's kind of short. It's 286 pages, so I guess that's the green flag for me, that it's relatively short so you could get through it pretty quickly, but I don't know, guys. That was not a good one. Let's keep it going. All right, book number 6. Let's see what we get. My God, why does that sound stuck? Do you guys hear that? That's crazy. So book number 6 is New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. And then honestly, look, it may not be like my absolute favorite, but I have to say Smash. Girl, if you know me, I'm a Twilight stan. Like I literally, for my 27th birthday, did a whole Twilight inspired trip. Like me and David went to Seattle and we did hiking in Olympic National Park. We went to Forks. We went to Port Angeles. We had dinner at the Italian restaurant that Bella and Edward went on their first date. Like I did the whole 9 yards, guys. It was so fun. And I loved that trip so much. So honestly, I know that New Moon is more of on the sadder side because, you know, Edward does break up with Bella and Bella goes through the whole depression stage. And this is the movie where we really get a nice arc of Jacob and Bella. And if you know me again, I'm Team Jacob through and through for life. So I really did enjoy that the most about New Moon because they were really giving Jacob a spotlight. They were giving him more of a chance to show Bella who he is now as an adult and how he really put his foot forward to try to show Bella that he wants her and he could treat her just as good or better than Edward. But of course, you know, we didn't go down that route as we all may know already. So anyways, I don't want to get into that. So yeah, definitely Smash. Like a great book. Loved it so much. And let's see what our bonus question is for this one. All right, so would you erase your memory to reread it again? Absolutely. Absolutely. I would erase my memory even of Twilight so I could just read the entire series for the first time again and then go watch the midnight premieres of every single movie again because I was that bitch at the midnight premieres every single movie. Such a good one. Smash as fuck. All right, so I believe it's book number 7 now that we are doing. Let's see what comes up. Why does the spinner wheel sound like that? Are you hearing that? So book number 7 is Gleam by Raven Kennedy. Smash, 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 smash AF. I would smash the book. I would smash Slade. I would even smash Orin for that matter of fact. Okay? Like, guys, what really topped this book off and made it my favorite from that series is the fact that not only did we have to wait until book 3 to finally get some smut between the two characters that we want to be together, is getting told from the POV of the male. And I think it's, you know, because I am gay, I think obviously I will always prefer, you know, the male POV because I like men. So I don't know, it just really scratched an itch in my brain. The fact that we finally got the smut between the two characters that we were rooting for and it being from the male's POV, like best thing ever. Like best thing ever. And just all the character arcs and the entire story in itself and like the conflict slash resolution of it all in that book was so good. Like seriously, I wish that I could again erase my memory and just reread this one for the first time because I loved it so much. Oh my gosh. So let's spin for the question. I really hope it's a good bonus question because this is such a good one, guys. All right, so we got would you recommend? I'm gonna let you figure out if I would recommend it or not. Yes? Yeah. I would. Of course I would. Hello. Of course I would recommend this book for a million, billion, trillion, gazillion times. All right. So book number 8. Let's see what book number 8's gonna be. All right. The Dead Take the A Train by Cassandra Caw and Richard Cadre. Uh, pass, pass as fuck, pass, 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 pass. And you know why? Because the first chapter was so incredibly promising and it was good and it got me hooked. But then the fact that everything went downhill after that first chapter is mind boggling. Like, I literally did not know what the hell was happening. I don't know what direction that book was trying to go in. Like, where was the spookiness of it all? Like, I don't know. I did not like this one. And I know that I rated it pretty low. I'm pretty sure I rated it like a 2 or something like that. And you know what sucks is that I used one of my Audible credits also because I wanted to listen to it instead. Should have never done that. But anyways, I don't even want to talk more about it because I really did not like this book. So let's spin for our bonus question. What should be like, would you erase your memory and reread it? Okay, let's see. We got least favorite character. Girl, all of them. All of them. Literally every single one. I don't have a specific one. I did not like any of them. They were all insufferable to me. And there were so many stupid decisions were being made. Like, ugh, every single character sucked. Going to the next book because I'm done with that. My God, 2 more. So book number 9. Let's see what we get for book number 9. I hate that the wheel is doing that noise. Hazel Thorn by C.G. Drews. All right, so I will say that with this one I'll smash because overall, like the way that C.G. Drew writes their stories and it gives like such a nice gothic, haunting type of feel. The botanical body horror that's used within the story was so cool also. And I know that it was a YA, and it doesn't really read or feel much YA, but definitely some of the actions or decisions that the characters were making in the story definitely makes sense as to why it was a YA, but overall, it was a really good story, and I would definitely reread this book if I was given the chance because it was really good. So let's do our bonus question to see what we get for this one. All right. What would you change, if anything? I guess what I would change is the fact that it's YA. And I hate saying that because I'm not against YA in any way, shape, or form. And I read YA from time to time and I enjoy it. But there's obviously specific YA that I like. And it felt like if we changed the story to an adult horror instead, I think it would have been much more elevated. It could have gotten like to a much more intense, more gory level maybe. But since it was YA, it felt a little more like PG-13 in a sense, and I like my horror like nasty, crazy, like the goriest thing you've ever seen type. So that's why I say that, but I just hate being hypocritical I mean, not hypercritical when it comes to like the genre of it being adult versus YA because, you know, everyone has different opinions and different feelings on those genres. So I hate saying that I would change that, but, you know, to be honest with you guys, that's one thing I would change about the story. But I would still leave the story as is because it's still an amazing book and I loved it. It's time for the last one already, so let's see what we get as our last book. We got Nights in Rothancy, or however you say it, by Nicholas Sparks. Oh, guys, if you've been following me for a while, I think you already know what the answer to this one is, right? It's a big fat pass. And I'll give you the Cliff Notes version because I feel like I've talked about this book too much on my channel for me not even liking it. So for one, the insta-love was astronomically insane. Like I would not do that ever in my life. I would not support that ever in my life. Number two, it was a very short story. Like I think it was under 200 pages. So we couldn't get the story completely fully developed either. So I couldn't grow any attachment to the characters at all. So I didn't care about them and I didn't even like them at the end of the day either. And number three, I did the audiobook and I feel like it was done well, but there was like these transitions in between, like going from past to present, like this no, like not a noise, like some type of like transition song that would happen when you're going from past to present. Because that was another thing about the story. It was being told from past and present timelines, but like embedded within the story, not like actual specific chapters. So you would get like that transition music when you're going from timeline to timeline. And you know, at first I thought it was cute, but I got old really fast. It got really old really fast. So I'm done talking about this. I want to spin for my bonus question. So let's see what our bonus question is. All right. Would you erase your memory to reread it? No, absolutely not. I wish I could erase my memory to get rid of it so I don't have to remember it or ever talk about it again. And there you have it, besties. And that is episode 1 of Smash or Pass. I hope you guys really enjoyed this type of style of video / game show of video because I was trying to think of like a new series to make into my channel. And you know, I know that I have my TBR takedown thing series going on called Overbooked But Hooked. I'll link the playlist up here and in the description for you guys to check it out. It's kind of just like a monthly TBR that I choose, but in each video you are able to see the books that I chose from the previous month, how I did, any books that I'm going to unhaul, and then I choose the next month's, etc, etc. So all of that's linked so you guys can check it out if you're interested. So since I have that series and you know, I'm only going to do it for the year, and the year is already over halfway done. So I was like, let me try to think of a new series to come up here with in the channel. So I thought about Smash or Pass because I love seeing people do Smash or Pass on books, but like rapid style on Instagram or TikTok. So I was like, let me kind of do it like more long form. So it's like a Smash or Pass, but also give my reasoning why I would Smash or Pass. And then I added like the little bonus question thing as a little additive, you know, to zhuzh up the video some more. But I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel because it helps me out a lot. And also make sure to hit the notification bell because that lets you know every time that I post a new video. I post every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time because I am located on the eastern coast of the United States. And if you made it this far into the video, I don't think that there's like a spinner wheel option or like emoji. So go ahead and put like a Ferris wheel emoji just so I know who the real ones are that stayed all the way to the very end. And with that, bestie, let's get hooked.